Sing along, well then.
Pick up my pen and make a write few letter. Invite some girls to come down in a Jamaica.
So now go check that stand
Round the corner, they first put me foot on me veranda. Girl a tear off me garment, and then my ball for come in me apartment. Boy, the girl them on the length and strength. Action speak louder than an argument. Well, them a tear off me garment,
and my ball for come in me apartment.
boy, the girl them on.
In a compliment.
Action speak louder than an argument, yeah. If you work excellent performance of a standard 100%.
I know you not supposed to have to welcome.
Confidence, she no one.
Emotional
Experience.
Remember that I am the doctor.
Treat all me.
Yeah.
Me a real statement, yeah.
Make a rest side down and make a body
Get dense, yeah.
We not go keep on
No more suspense, well. That was my old school Beanie Man right there. Girls tearing off my garments and asking to come into my apartment. It's old school. All right, so real quick, folks. Somebody asked me to do a scientific explanation of why girls like the bad boys and not the good guys, right? Like, I'm a good dude. I consider myself a good guy, so chicks don't really dig me, right? Because they want the assholes. So somebody said do a scientific explanation of it. I'll explain it. I'll do the best I can. So check this out, right? The solar system, right? We know that the solar system consists of 9 planets. 8 orbit 1. I'll say that again. Solar system have 9 planets. Some will say 8, but it's 9. And 8 orbits 1. Right? And the one that has been orbited is the sun. And the other 8 planets, they orbit the sun. Or do they? Right? Are they orbiting the sun? One would say yes, they are. But scientifically, they're not. And I'm going to tie this into why most women like the bad boys. Scientifically, those 8 planets do not orbit the sun. What I mean by that is this. If you look at general relativity, if you study, you know, any one of these sciences, Einstein, special relativity, etc., what you're going to learn is that those 8 planets are not orbiting the sun. What is happening is the more mass an element has, the greater its gravitational force, hence its gravitational pull. The more massive an element is, the more powerful its gravitational pull. The sun is way more massive than all those other planets, those 8 planets. The sun has greater mass. Therefore, it has a greater gravitational force, a greater gravitational pull. So those 8 planets that we say orbit the sun are not orbiting the sun, rather are being manipulated by the sun. It's perspective. One can look and say those planets orbit the sun. Scientifically, those planets are being controlled, manipulated, governed, and ruled by the sun because of its greater gravitational force as a result of its more massiveness. The moon, the earth orbits the sun, but the moon orbits the earth. The reason, same thing. The earth is more massive than the moon, and therefore the earth has a greater gravitational force and manipulates the moon around it. Fellas, women will always be more attracted to the bad boys because of what's called electronegativity. Their electronegativity is going to be more massive than a person, the good guy. And what I mean by that is this. Women are like those 8 planets. They want to be pulled. They need to be pulled. They have to be pulled. It's in their DNA. They're wired to be pulled, to be attracted. The bad boy who has a high dosage of electronegativity, first let me tell you what it is. Electronegativity is it's the capacity or the pulling power of an element that an element has to draw electrons to itself. It is the capacity of an element to draw electrons to itself. It is the ability of an element to draw electrons to itself. All of us drink water. Everybody. Women drink more water than men. I think. Sometimes. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying here, folks. Work with me. All of us drink water. Therefore, we have we all have a lot of fluorine in our system. Fluorine has a high dosage of electrons. Electrons are negatively charged particles. The bad boys who have high electronegativity are going to draw, they're going to have a lot of pulling power, just like the sun has a lot of pulling power on those 8 planets because of its massiveness. The bad boys, in the eyes of the female, the bad boys are going to seem more exciting. They're going to seem more daring. They're going to seem more dashing, adventurous, a little edgy, ruggedness, a little danger. All of those things that I just identified, those items, I itemized, those things that I just itemized are the equivalent of mass. Mass, people use mass and weight interchangeably, but there's a distinction. Weight is the gravitational force on an object. Mass is all the stuff that object consists of. The bad boy, I just itemized several characteristics and or features about the bad boy. All those itemized items that I just outlined would be considered mass. The good guy doesn't have that much mass. He might have a good job. He might be a square. He'll take care of her. He's nice. He goes for walks and shit. He does nice stuff with her. He just caters to her. But that's not enough. Those things do not equate to the items I just itemized for the bad boy, the mass. Remember, the greater the mass, the stronger the pull, folks. So the bad boys always are going to have greater mass than the good guys. And the greater the mass, folks, the greater the motherfucking pull. So that's why a woman will always be attracted to the bad boys as opposed to the good boy. Because the bad boy is representative, is analogous in this anecdotal explanation. In this anecdotal explanation, the bad boy is analogous or representative of the sun. The girls are the 8 planets. They're not orbiting him. His badass is drawing them because of his greater mass. Whether you want to believe it or not, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you believe this or not. Why? Because the laws of the universe don't give a fuck whether you believe it or not. They're just going to, whether you believe the sun rises or doesn't rise, whether you believe the moon orbits the earth, it doesn't matter. This is what's called there's relativity and there's special relativity. Special relativity says it don't care about your perspective. It don't care about your frame of reference. If you go on top of a building and you jump off, you're going to fall. That's the laws of gravity. That's what special relativity fundamentally teaches. So it doesn't matter whether you believe what I'm saying or not. The laws of the universe, the formulas, the algorithms of the scientific data, the empirical scientific data, the anecdotal evidence doesn't factor your opinion or your take. It's just going to do what it does. So that's my brief scientific explanation of why girls always go to the bad boys and why us good dudes just have a hard time. But here's the thing. Stay a square. You know what I'm saying? Don't change for these broads. I'm telling you. If you're out there and you're a square and you're under the sound of my voice and you're like, damn, yo, he's right. I never get the girl. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the end, you're going to win. The good guy wins in the end. You know what I'm saying? But until the end comes, it sucks. she gonna always be drawn to the bad guy. Eventually women mature though. Eventually they realize like all that, edgy, rough, rugged, all that. That's not, eventually they come to their senses. But by then it might be too late because then, whatever. But I'm just saying, stay the good dude. Stay the square. Don't try. Because here's the thing. If you try to be what you're not, they're going to find you out anyway. Now you're still going to lose anyway. Because if you try to pretend to portray or perpetrate what you aren't at core, your real self is going to slip out. Because you can only wear a mask but for so long. So just stay who you are. Walk with look, create your own little swag, right? Your little nerdy square. You got a square swag. Maybe you got a square swag, right? Be the square with the square swag, whatever. Be the cornball with the cornball swag. It is what it is. Like, embrace yourself. It doesn't matter. eventually you'll find a girl. But just hang in there, fellas. If you're out there and you know you're a square, to my squares out there, yo, keep squares alive. You know what I mean? Stay squared up. Peace.